Now at 6, the city of Miami honors the Royal Air Force with a British Flyers Remembrance Ceremony. Plus, and the vinyl music lovers gather at Carthage's Memorial Hall for the 4 States Record Show.
The 4 States Most Watched News starts now.
3 people were injured after a loaded tow truck T-boned a car near Joplin. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Elise Noe. It happened at around 7:30 p.m. yesterday on West 7th Street and Black Cat Road. Authorities say the tow truck, which was towing a vehicle, was traveling north on Black Cat when a car pulled out into its path. They say the tow truck then T-boned the car and went into a ditch. The tow truck and the vehicle it was towing both overturned. 2 people in the car and 1 person in the truck received non-life-threatening injuries. A 16-year-old girl was seriously injured after a golf cart driven by a 15-year-old crashed in Christian County. According to golfcarts.org, in Missouri, golf cart drivers must be at least 16 and have a valid driver's license. Reporter Liam Garrity talked to witnesses and has the details.
Just a super loud crash. So I ran outside and they were already leaving and I was yelling like, hey, stop, come back. And they took off.
Lauren Sexton lives right across the street from the crash.
My dad went outside and kind of collected some pieces of debris off the ground.
Sergeant Mike McClure with the Highway Patrol says the crash happened after dark. And the 15-year-old driver was not injured, but her passenger did get hurt.
For reasons unknown, collided into the back of a trailered boat and sustained injuries after she hit her face on that portion of the boat.
Sexton says she heard them race off after the crash.
We apologize for technical difficulties. Well, folks in Joplin will have to go into a new location to use DMV services. It's not clear why the office closed, though the Breast Cancer Foundation recently closed another office in Springfield, citing revenue issues. They also referenced litigation against the State Department of Revenue over issues with the bid process. The new location will open Monday at 1702 Richard Joseph Boulevard in Joplin. We have some severe weather in our area. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with the forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Jed. We are looking at some severe thunderstorm. 1 severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Jasper County, extreme northeastern Newton County, and a sliver of western Lawrence County right now. Other thunderstorms stretch back towards the north and west into southeast Kansas, which are not severe. But let's zoom in on this activity that is severe right now. You can see some pretty gusty winds now just west of Highway 37 there in northeastern Jasper County. And if we take a look at the differential reflectivity, there might be a little bit of small hail in this area as well. Again, just west of Missouri 37 and north of Missouri 96 in that far northeastern corner of Jasper County. And then looking at the correlation coefficient, again, there is a slight indication of maybe some small hail, gusty winds. That warning goes until 6:30, which is for another 15 to 20 minutes for those areas. And we'll, of course, continue to keep you advised on that. And of course, I'll have the complete detailed in your forecast coming up in just a little bit. Elise?
Thanks, Sam. Well, the annual British Flyers ceremony was held today in Miami. This ceremony honors the Royal Air Force cadets who lost their lives while training in Miami during World War II. The ceremony included a singing performance and special guest speakers, from some of whom came all the way from England. The Freeman Event Center in Lamar, Missouri welcomed monster trucks this weekend. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has the story.
For kids like me, we all want to grow up and be a monster truck driver. While I may not get behind the wheel of one, it didn't stop me from getting to ride in one. But I needed some help from someone who had done it before. Gabe Johnson is the son of Stomping Grounds owner David Johnson. And while he may only be in 8th grade, he's got plenty of experience being around monster trucks.
Monster Truck is kind of what started this place. We went to a monster truck show as a family, got some free tickets back in 2020, which is the year before this place came around, and fell in love with them. And we always owned this land back here, and we thought, why not do it here?
According to Gabe, these monster truck shows are entertaining and never cease to amaze.
Well, the thing about a monster truck show, you never know. That's what I like to say. Some truck can flip over and catch on fire, and another truck will fly as high as an airplane. It's honestly unpredictable.
For fans like myself and Gabe, monster trucks are amazing to watch. But what is it like to ride in one? Turns out, we got the chance. Now I know what you're thinking, but our ride went a little smoother than that. Oh man. I think I know what I want for my birthday. It's a monster truck. Oh my goodness. Woo! So whether you're 5 years old or 95 years old, the entertainment of monster trucks never stops. Reporting in Lamar, Missouri, I'm Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The Stomping Grounds will be hosting more fun events this year, including professional bull riding in August and a large concert this October. The 4-state record show was held today at Carthage Memorial Hall. Vendors and community members from all over the 4 states got the chance to meet new people and explore the world of classic and modern day vinyl.
You can find some new stuff. You're coming here, you're going to be able to find that gem that you may be looking for forever. It could be one that's just going to fill your collection up, that you have a list that you're making that you're coming in here. It can be something that just got made this year and made from the 60s or 70s.
The record show happens twice a year. The next show will be in the spring of 2024. Coming up, District Attorney in Oklahoma makes a decision regarding charges filed against 7 officers in 2020. Plus, ghost gun regulations are under review again. We'll have the details. District Attorney Vicky Bahana says yesterday's decision to drop charges on 7 officers was difficult, but that her office had to follow the law. Reporter Jordan Fremstad spoke to a lawmaker who says better policy could save lives.
It's the same old story. We come to the same conclusion again.
We are going to dismiss the charges against Officer Holman.
District Attorney Vicky Bahena read the names of 7 police officers who will no longer face manslaughter charges in 3 different use of force cases dating back to 2020.
No matter what this office does or says, these families are forever changed.
Bahena says emotion can't play into these decisions.
This was a factual and legal analysis, and that's what guided our decision here.
But families are left to carry that burden.
Justice in some of our eyes has not been found just yet.
Oklahoma law allows officers to use deadly force if they believe it's necessary to protect themselves.
I appreciate their sacrifice, and I want them to go home every night just like I want the people they encounter go home every night.
Senator and Pastor George Young says he respects people who put their lives on the line, but he says something is missing.
And I never want to see law enforcement hindered from doing their job, but I also don't want law enforcement to receive a pass on things that impact individuals.
Young says new legislation would help, but he says the first step is acknowledgement.
Well, I think we need to live in reality. That's the first thing.
According to the Department of Justice, black people are 3 times more likely to be killed by police officers than white people.
And the results of these 3 cases kind of show us that we're not there yet.
Young believes Oklahoma has an opportunity to change laws and practice.
I think that we have an opportunity to do what you and I are doing right now, to discuss this, to talk about it, and to elevate it to a higher level so that we can make a difference and eliminate these types of things ever happening.
Federal ghost gun regulations are under review again. Yesterday, Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito agreed to temporarily freeze a lower court order that bars the government from regulating so-called ghost guns. Ghost guns are made from kits that a user can buy online to assemble a fully functional firearm. In the brief order, Alito asked for a response from challengers to the regulation by August 2nd and suggested the full Supreme Court will rule by August 4th. A little later, we'll take you to the St. Louis Zoo to see how the staff and animals are dealing with the extreme temperatures.
And with those extreme temperatures, we also have some severe thunderstorms in our area. I'll take a look at that on radar, as well as your hot forecast when we come back. Well, it was another hot one across the 4 states, and of course all that heat and humidity helped those thunderstorms get a little bit out of control just a few moments ago. Right now in Seneca, Missouri, the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, things are looking pretty nice, hot, lots of sunshine and blue skies, but to the east of there, we're seeing some thunderstorms developing across our area. We did make it up to the century mark today, 100 degrees starting out at 76 this morning. Of course, that was way above the normals of 91 and 70. Thank goodness we aren't anywhere near that 109 back in 2012, but of course, we're still behind on the rainfall, almost 11 inches now, and hopefully these storms in the area are going to help out with a little bit of that. Excessive heat warnings are still in effect for a large chunk of our area in southeastern Kansas, especially till 9 o'clock. Heat advisories elsewhere. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning that is still in effect in southeastern Lawrence County. Zooming in on that activity right around Aurora right now, you can see quite a bit of lightning along Highway 60 there between Aurora and Billings. That extends back up towards Mount Vernon and also to the north of Sarcoxy. And looking at the wind speeds right now, some pretty strong winds just west of Highway 413 and also around Highway 60 there in extreme southeastern Lawrence County. That's going to be moving over into the area of Springfield area over the next half hour or so. And taking a look at temperatures, they're rain cooled, especially up to the north. Check out Iola. They're down to 78 right now. But ahead of the storms, it's still in the 90s, close to 100, like Chitopa with 97, 98 in Nowata, 98 in Joplin right now as well. And you can see the thunderstorms in the distance from our tower cam at 7th and Range Line. Right now in Joplin, it's 98, and it feels like 102. And that's because the dew point is up there at 67 degrees and the pressure is currently falling. Now tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures feeling like 107 in Joplin again, 107 in Nowata, a little bit cooler up in Stockton where it'll only feel like 101, but it's going to be toasty across the entire area. Then as we go into Tuesday, or Monday afternoon, I should say, again, temperatures feeling like in the low 100s across the area, and the heat's only going to build as we go through the work week. Rain chances are low for the next 36 hours, but they're not zero. At least we have a chance of showers and storms. And where some of those storms develop, we could maybe pick up a quick half inch in some isolated spots, but most areas will be around a third or less. The ridge of high pressure is still off towards our west, but notice what happens as we go through Monday. It comes sitting right over Oklahoma and just sits there for several days, and that means we're going to be baking under this ridge of high pressure with temperatures over 100 degrees for several days in a row across our area. So tomorrow we're going to see lows in the 70s in the morning, and then in the afternoon we're going to see highs in the upper 90s to right around 100 degrees yet again across our area. How about the next 7 days? Well, if you like hot weather, you're going to love this. 100 on Monday, 102 on Tuesday, 104 on Wednesday and Thursday. Finally get a little bit cooler as we go towards next weekend with highs only in the lower 90s, Elise. So I know everyone's going to be breaking out the parkas for that, with at least a chance of showers and thunderstorms as well.
I just feel like extreme weather is just the song of the summer.
That's right. And of course, it's the typical thing here in the 4 states.
Absolutely. Well, matter of fact, excessive heat warning is in effect through the weekend for the St. Louis area. Laura Barchetsky talked with some people braving the heat at the St. Louis Zoo.
The heat is affecting just about everyone in St. Louis. The St. Louis Fire Department opened up a hose outside City Park for soccer fans headed to the match. Across town, we caught up with some people braving the heat at the St. Louis Zoo.
Well, as you can see, I didn't do so well. Hot and sweaty, but cold water, hat, shade.
Which is exactly what is prescribed for the animal keepers, too.
We make sure that they're hydrated. You know, they have access to water. We make sure that they kind of slow down in the heat, hot part of the day. Make sure that they're wearing cool clothing. Many of them are also working inside.
And even the animals themselves.
We make sure they have cool pools. We may give them ice blocks to have fun with and cool off. Many of them also have shade, or we had additional shade structures for those areas. And then many of them also have access to inside holding under these extremely hot days.
Animals at the zoo either stuck to the shade or hung out in their pools. Spectators at the zoo also found some shade, or at least filled up at water stations.
Don't overexert yourself. If you are having, a little bit of heat stress, or you feel heat stress, we do have medics on zoo grounds.
And they're not the only ones affected. It's a difficult time for those living on the streets or without a home.
People without homes suffer from health conditions that often make them even more vulnerable to the heat. So if you have a chronic health condition or substance use disorder that makes it difficult for you to regulate your body temperature.
Cooling centers like the St. Patrick Center have been a helpful resource for many, and in extremely hot temps, it's a good idea to check on your neighbors, even the ones without homes.
If it looks like they're having a heat-related injury, call 911 and don't leave until the ambulance gets there, right? Make sure that they get care.
Still ahead, a former Kansas State running back is making headlines in training camp. And the Pittsburgh State Gorillas are motivated for another big season. We'll have the story next in sports.
In approximately 33 days, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas will kick off their season against Washburn. Now, you may think the team is happy going 12-0 in conference play last season, but the team still has a sour taste in their mouth of how the season ended. Earlier this week, Pittsburgh State got a chance to speak at the MIAA Media Day in Kansas City. Pitt State was picked to finish in first place in both the media and coaches poll. The Gorillas went undefeated last season in the MIAA until their season came to an end in the NCAA Division II playoffs, but the Gorillas are motivated to come into this season with a much bigger goal in mind.
Yeah, we had a decent year last year. 12-1 looks good on paper, but at the end of the day, we didn't accomplish what we wanted to, and that's a national championship. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but when you're a Gorilla, you know what you signed up for. Those are the expectations, so trying to get back there this year and hopefully take another step from there.
But again, the thing that I'm most excited about is I think they're all motivated like Trace is to be even better. And then defense, we talked about the linebacker crew and Dubim, but we have Mike returning at safety, played phenomenal for us last year, and a couple corners that I think are very, very good and also motivated to be even better.
The Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals approach the MLB trade deadline, which takes place next week. The Royals are coming off one of their biggest wins of the season. As for the Cardinals, they come off yet another disappointing loss. Royals are back home tonight against the Twins. After winning last night's game off of a walk-off grand slam from Bobby Witt Jr., the Royals will go for the series win tonight. This game is just getting underway so far. Score early in this one. No score early in this one. We'll have a final score update tonight at 10. Cardinals versus Cubs tonight at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals nearly had a walk-off home run themselves last night, except it was robbed in the outfield. So now the Cardinals will have to avoid losing the series to Chicago. This game was just getting ready to be underway, but at the moment we have a rain delay in St. Louis, so hopefully there will be baseball soon in St. Louis. And finally, some of the K-State Wildcat fans, how could you forget former K-State running back Deuce Vaughn, who currently plays for the Dallas Cowboys, and he is in Oxnard, California. In training camp, well, the Cowboys released their player measurables, and at the moment, Deuce Vaughn is currently the shortest player in the NFL right now, standing at 5 feet 5 inches. You can see the Deuce on the loose for the Cowboys' first preseason game when they play the Jacksonville Jaguars on August 12th. That'll be it with sports. We'll be right back with more news right after this.
Well, it was a very hot day, and this bear found a way to beat the heat. Is that how they do it? By cooling off in a jacuzzi. Police say the bear was spotted on a hillside neighborhood in Burbank, California before taking a dip in the pool. The homeowner says it was in there for about 5 minutes before climbing up a tree and falling asleep.
Of course.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good day to me.
I think all of us could use a pool right now.
Well, we do have some storms on radar cooling things off just a little bit. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for southeastern Lawrence County until 6:30. You can see some gusty winds there just east of Aurora, near or just south and east of there. And of course, the next 7 days, we're going to need some pools with temperatures about 104 on Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
Absolutely.
Speaking of weather, the Chiefs had to go indoors today in St. Joe at training camp, so we'll see if they're able to complete practice outdoors tomorrow.
Well, that's our time for now.